Alright, so I'm gonna do Michelangelo, and I wanna kinda change it up just a little bit. I felt like the last one I did was a little too forward, like it's just kinda dead on pose. I wanna stay away from that. I don't like doing straight on dead shot poses. They're just not very dynamic. So this time I wanna kinda make sure I don't do that. And what I want to do is I want to kind of get low with this one, where he's kind of crouched, and he's doing one of these numbers. There we go. It's coming across the body. The arm is, and the other arm is up like this, and he's got his nunchucks like this, where he's grabbing them. And I think I want this leg to kind of do one of these, short and sweet. Maybe this leg will have to kind of do more like this. And then this leg over here will be something like this, but it's going to come back and hold the weight, the center of gravity. It's got to be something like that. And then this one will do one of those. So that's what I'm thinking. There's my pose. Let me just lightly erase over this. And let's draw it in. Like that, and then we gotta do that. And you're not going to really see his hand here going across the body. Something like that, and then the back shell. Do like that. But I gotta see the whole shell. So wonder how they do that. Like how does it really connect underneath that shell? And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, so it kind of sits out there in front at those types of angles. It's almost like it just kind of sits on the back. It's kind of interesting. Like you got the full body here doing its thing, and then it kind of sits right here on the back like that. Like it's kind of interesting like that. So I'm gonna put that leg about like that. I'm gonna do it like this, where we got one toe over here, one toe over here, toe back there. I'm just wanting to block in the bits right quick. that, and then this will kind of come down into here. Yeah. This one's going to be kind of a side profile. Like that. Nice strong position with the foot there. And this one, the pad will be right like that. There we go. On this one, something like that. There we go. Alright. Let me draw the face and head. I almost feel like I might be drawing them a little too big, the head here, but maybe if the head, yeah, see the head is off center. The head would come up and would center right here, and if it goes off to the side, then the head would be right here at center. There we go. Alright, that's why it was looking kind of weird. But I want to do that. Alright, no. Did it wrong again. I had it placed properly, but then I just, bloop, stupid. Okay. So we got that, that, and that. Now we got it. Sometimes it takes a few times, you know. There's that. One, 2, and 3. Alright. Let me put the belt under here. There we go. There we go. Now it's looking pretty good. I'm liking this. Something like that. And then the hand would go up like that, so that, and then a thumb. And that's just looking kind of terrible, actually, but we'll figure it out. There we go. Now we're talking. You always got to have wind blowing, even if they're in the sewer. So, and 3, and 2, and 3. There we go. Got the shell on there. Got that underneath. Got the pad. Alright, I think we're pretty good now. Let me fix this foot down here. There we go. I don't know, do turtles have toenails? I don't know. I don't remember ever reading that in the book. Alright, I think we're good now. Alright, well, we'll start out like we've started them all out. We will put in the shadowing with the dry brushing first. Again, here's my thing full of almost dry ink. Oh, put my finger in it. Alright, there we go. Alright, so the light's going to come from behind him. So he's going to be kind of in the shade here, in the shadows. All of that's going to be in the shadows. But then we'll have light there. All of this will be in shadow except for back of the leg a little bit there. And then of course, got to have a shadow underneath them. All of that will be in shadow. Alright, let me go ahead and get my little brush. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. Yeah, something I noticed when looking in the book is that the rim on the outside of the turtle shell is a little more defined than what I've been doing. So this is another good lesson in doing this sort of stuff is, you know, by just doing it all the time, you learn a little bit more every time you do it. So that's something that's definitely helping out right now. So I'm starting to see more and more every time I do it, every time I do a drawing of them. There we go. I'm pretty happy where this is right now. Kind of want to go in there with the big brush now. Start putting in all my big shadows. And I got the end of it flailed out so I can really put in, you know, get a lot of texture out of the brush. And I mean, you could kind of call this like working with happy accidents. If you're a fan of Bob Ross, just a little bit of info for people out there if they're interested. Bob Ross was born and raised in the same town I was born and raised in, Daytona Beach, Florida. So there you go. Old Bob Ross. And fun little fact about him is he hated his big ol' afro, but it was his signature look, so he always had to do it. But he hated the fact that he always had to have his hair that way. But I mean, that's his look. That's what he was known for. And back then, it was all about, you know, brand recognition and, you know, got to keep it consistent and all that sort of stuff. So Yeah, that's the big thing I like about working with a brush is little happy accidents, you know. It's especially dry brushing, you get a lot of just interesting brush strokes that you wouldn't normally get. Just can't get this out of a pen, doing the pen and nibs. I feel like his arm's a little too long here, but it's just something we'll have to live with. That's just the way it is. And if you're wondering what type of ink brush this is one of the Pentel, another Pentel brush. You can get them at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, all the big ones. They all sell these. They are fantastic. I've been using them for probably as long as they've been out. I remember when I first saw one, I was like, oh, look at that. It's like, that looks like a regular old ink brush. Look at that. So I grabbed one. And I guess Kim Jong-il is really made him popular with all his drawings. But I've definitely been using these things for a long time. They are fantastic. I like getting them to this point where they're really, really dry. This is when you really can get some nice mark making out of them. And this paper I've been using, I chose it specifically because it has an interesting tooth to it. It's a hot press, but it still has just the slightest bit of like fuzziness to it, and I just find that it works really good with these dry brushing. It's Arches paper, Arches hot press bricks. It's the bricks that they sell, where it's like a pad of paper and a brick, and you peel off the paper as you use them. And they just, I find the paper works really good for dry brushing. And for the turtles, this is gold. Love this. And whenever I run out of ink on them, I use them like this one. I got a little piece of tape on it, and I use it as like that dry brush starter, where I just kind of dip it in a little bit of dry ink, and then when this one gets to where that one is, where there's no more ink in it, then I'll throw that one away and move on to this one, because I do abuse these things a lot. They get real tore up. There we go. I am pretty happy with this one. That one looks pretty good. I feel like, if I'm being honest with myself, this arm is out too far. It's too long, and this leg is connected too far down. It just needs to be a little further up. But like it's, you know, these are just quick little things that we're doing. I mean, it's like 30-40 minutes. So you know, drawing and inking in 20-30 minutes, a full piece. But this is great. Let me do a little bit of, you know, just kind of noodling here. This type of stuff can kind of go a long way when it comes to these pieces. Definitely helps. And the way I would fix that on something like this is I would just paint over it. Like I'd get some whiteout, or not whiteout, I use white paint, not whiteout, because it's more archival. If you use whiteout, it eventually just yellows and cracks and falls off your paper. And it's just, I mean, if you're going to be selling your art, you shouldn't be using whiteout. It's just not appropriate. So I always use all archival pieces. I also don't use the acrylic or the alcohol markers because they're not archival either. Anything with alcohol isn't archival. But this stuff is great. Right now I'm just kind of thinking about the turtle texture, you know, it's like they do have a few spots and stuff that's kind of interesting. Just a little bit of doing this can go a long way on a piece. And I would see their shells as being really beat up. That's just the way I see it anyway. Because they would take a lot of abuse. But you can always heal it with a little turtle wax, right? We learned that in the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. Use a little turtle wax. You fix them right up. Anyway, that's pretty good. I like it. And we're going to leave it at that. We'll see you next time. If you like what you're seeing here, give us a like, share, subscribe. Also go on over to the skitscomic.com website. All videos show up there a week before they ever hit YouTube. While you're there, pick you up a comic book, print, or go ahead and get you an original piece of art.